But either way, we got the 4-7 Washington football team against the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, and I will be watching it from home. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff at Heinz Field on Fox. Boy, I'm looking at this game. -6.5. The way that the Steelers played last week, or how long ago was that? Was that really last week? Yeah. That was last week. It's the Washington football team who's had almost 2 weeks off, even though it wasn't supposed to be a bye week. But at 6.5, that's I don't know. Washington has found a gem in Antonio Gibson, who, if nothing else, the passing game may not have been as stellar as we were hoping it would be with Alex Smith. But, as a focal point of the offense for Gibson, I mean, he's third in rushing touchdowns behind Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry. I just, man, where did he come from? I wish I had picked him up. And then on defense, that, in my mind, when the Washington football team drafted Young, in many ways I said, wow. It was a third straight Ohio State player taken, which is kind of bizarre. I think that's kind of bizarre. But he has proven to be a bright spot on the defensive front for Washington. And their pass defense ranks second in the league. And maybe there's an upset there. Neither one of these offenses are great. The Washington football team ranked 31st. That's bad. The Steelers ranked 27th, so that's not much better. But I think if you're a Steelers fan, and I would say the coach, but no, he's been complaining a lot, you'll be happy with 11-0. Who cares if their offense is 27th? Maybe they're going to turn it around by the time you get to the playoffs. But their defense is ranked first. So if defense wins games, okay, I will ride with the defense. If I'm 16-0, went into the playoffs and it was mostly on defense, then that's fine. That's what's got us here. And we're going to continue to win with defense. But Washington ranks second. I know you didn't expect to see or hear that. But they rank second. The passing offenses and rushing offenses is nothing to sneeze about for either team. But here we are. They're going to be playing at 5 o'clock. Now, Pittsburgh, yes, they've had a lot of issues on offense, but their biggest issue right now may be on defense. In that now you had Devin Bush out for the season, and then in the Steelers' last game against the Ravens, Bud Dupree, season-ending knee injury. That's it. So T.J. Watt has to carry more of the load in this game. He has to carry more of the load. The Steelers lead the NFL in sacks and takeaways for the third time in the Super Bowl era. No other team has done that. And they're going to be trying to sack Alex Smith a lot, getting interceptions, getting in his face, making him have to look to dump off the ball to his third option, which he's excellent at, by the way. That's kind of like his bread and butter. Okay, you won't give me the plays downfield? I'll dink and dunk my way to a touchdown. Terry McLaurin has accounted for 26% of the Washington football team's total scrimmage yards this season. So maybe he can help stretch the field some. Possibly. But it's weird. Like, if you think of the Steelers' offense being only ranked 27, Ben Roethlisberger has not been bad. 250-plus passing yards, 0 sacks taken in 4 straight games. Now, granted, some of that obviously is due to the offensive line, but I'll take that. He doesn't play well against Washington football team, only 175.8 career passing yards versus them, but it's okay. This is going to be a defensive game. No different than the Ravens Steelers. And I know it's not fair to say that in that, this isn't like a rivalry, but I think that's a possibility. And then obviously, if you also look at the Steelers wide receiving core with Claypool, Johnson, and Smith-Schuster, only team with 3 wide receivers with 500 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns or more. So here are my final numbers. The Steelers are 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games. Washington is 0-7 straight up in their last 7 road games versus teams with a winning record. So where am I going with this? You got Pittsburgh at -6.5. I'm going to take the Steelers at -6.5. I think that in this matchup, my hope at least, especially for you Steelers fans out there, is that maybe they finally, even if they don't have James Conner, maybe finally 3 straight weeks of Mike Tomlin calling them the JV team and they're not playing up to snuff. Maybe now against a 4-7 Washington team, they're going to get it done. And I think they will. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win and cover. And I'm going to take the over at 43.5.